This is an extract from the Leader podcast by the Evening Standard, hosted by me, David Marsland. To hear the whole thing, search for us on your podcast provider. In an exclusive interview with the Evening Standard, the boss of TfL, Andy Byford, says public transport is as safe as it can be, but he needs elected leaders to tell the public. Meanwhile, there's evidence more people are taking their cars into London as they try to heed government calls to go to the office, but are still fearful of getting the train. Our editorial column says it's time for Boris Johnson and Sadiq to lead by example.
Get back to work, the Prime Minister says. Come back to school, children are being told. Visit shops, eat out, go to a gallery. Get London going again. It's mad that we are being told to go out again, but not how to travel. The capable new boss of Transport for London spells out the right message in his interview with the Evening Standard. I believe passionately that the system is safe to use, he says. Why is he being left to make the case? Because our political leaders are afraid. We need to hear from Mr. Johnson now that public transport is safe. We need to hear it from Mr. Khan, too. Ministers and the mayor should get out of their official cars and get on the tube, on the train, and on buses. If it's safe for the rest of us, it is safe for them, too.
Well, the Evening Standard's Sam Fishwick spoke to Andy Byford and Sam's with me now. Sam, I'm sure Mr. Byford was very measured in his tone when he spoke to you, but he does seem frustrated that Boris Johnson and Sadiq can't seem to persuade the public to get on the tube.
I think Andy Byford is one of the many things he's incredibly good at, as well as getting trains to run on time across the world, is making politicians work for him and working for the city that he's trying to make run. Certainly, he told me that it was helpful when politicians were on the same page. As he said to me, his job is to be the fulcrum between any politicians who make his customers' lives easier. So yeah, Andy Byford is a man with a huge reputation within the train world, but to the common or garden person on the tube, they have no idea who he is. He gets that. He gets that he's not a name. He needs people with a reputation, people who the public trust, to say, look, it's time to get back on the tube. The tube is safe. Byford's message is, we're ready, and we're ready when you are.
Does he truly believe that the tube, that public transport, that buses are safe for lots of people to get on?
He does, categorically, 100%. He's not so foolhardy as to fail to envisage the risk of a second wave, and that's part of the reason why he is so keen to secure a new model of funding that doesn't rely on ridership to quite the same extent. But he's very, very confident in the safeguarding aspects that have been put in place on the London's grounds and the entire transport network, and also the cleaning processes that have been done. I mean, they have had independent inspectors come in to take samples and to check for COVID-19. They haven't found anything. They've increased a cleaning budget that was already 10 million by an extra 2.3 million to bring in, hospital grade disinfectant, 1,000 hand sanitizers. I mean, he reeled off measure after measure, David, and he is willing to stake his job on the tube being, the cleanest place to be found.
It sounds like he's spending a huge amount of money to make the tube safe. And I'm just thinking this must be an incredibly difficult time to start a job like this in a unique scenario like this. How is he finding running TfL during a pandemic? He's only been in the job a few months.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I said to him, you are bonkers to take this job on. People must have said that to you. And he said, look, they called me bonkers when I took on New York. Is credited with turning around a really rickety transport system there. That said, he says that 2 months has felt much, much longer. He is working, if not quite around the clock, than burning the candles at both ends. And he's a mover and shaker, not only on the phone to the Department of the Transport, Sadiq Khan's office, 24/7 lobbying for help making the service the best possible, but He's also out there. He gets on the tube. He talks to, as he calls them, customers. He is a mover, a shaker, a talker. He will leave no stone unturned to get back on the right track.